My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for The Exorcist Believer. And look, I was not excited for this movie in the slightest bit for so many reasons. Where to even begin? Well, first, I love the first movie. It is a classic, it is one of the best movies ever made. But after that, I do not like this franchise. Not even the third movie. I know people love that one now, but I found it to be very boring. And then on top of that, the big thing about this franchise is exorcisms and possessions, and we get that in so many movies nowadays. So, what kind of fresh angle could they bring here? And then you've got the guy David Gordon Green, who directed the Halloween trilogy, to do this movie? Really? Like, I've been a defender of Halloween Ends since day one, and it has sat really well with me, but I don't really care for the other two movies, and you're going straight from one iconic franchise to another? Really? So, like, every red flag was going off, and I'm here to tell you this movie is one giant piece of shit. I think it is the second worst movie of this year. But let's talk about what I did like. Olivia Markham and Ladia Jarrett, who play the two girls in this movie, give very good performances. They are convincing, and that's it. On to the negatives. The rest of the cast sucks, my goodness. Leslie Odom Jr., I don't think he's a good actor. I like him in Hamilton, but everything else he's just very forgettable in. He has every opportunity to elevate this character, but he always just feels bland. Like he loses his kid, and he just doesn't react to the extent he should. And I felt he was very boring the entire time. Then you've got Ann Dowd, who I thought gave a terrible performance. Just terrible. And then you've got Ellen Borstein, who is clearly phoning it in. She has been very public about how she didn't want to do this movie, and how eventually she caved. And you can tell, like, it's a very bad performance, and it's just like her character and a few mentions of Reagan are the only connective tissue this movie has to the original. So it's like the worst type of legacy sequel. It's just, once again, like, this could have been any possession movie. There's just no need to put The Exorcist ahead of it. It's not going to be a box office hit, and yeah, but I do kind of like a little bit of what they're trying to do here, where the first act is like prisoners, where these two girls go missing, and then the last two acts is when they're getting possessed, and you've got all the exorcism stuff. The issue is that it's terribly handled, and it just has no weight behind it. I felt no emotion at any point during this movie. The characters didn't react in an effective manner. The story doesn't sit with anything. And it's just very awful. And it's so weird too, because this movie's almost 2 hours long, and it's like you had so much time to make this a compelling story, and you just dropped the ball entirely. This movie is never engaging. It is never effective at what it sets out to do. But is it a fun time at least? No, not at all. This isn't a movie where you can just turn off your brain and have a fun time. No, it's boring as shit. Not since Indiana Jones this year have I fought the urge to fall asleep during a movie as badly as I did here. This movie makes Last Voyage of the Demeter look like Terminator 2. It's just utterly lifeless and soulless, and yeah, it's not remotely scary. Any attempt is just frankly embarrassing. And look, I don't think every horror movie has to be scary, but this movie isn't scary, it's not engaging, it doesn't do anything effectively, it's not entertaining, so at that point, you just have nothing to offer. And to top it all off, there is no vision behind this movie. The actual filmmaking is as amateurish as it comes. I feel like anybody could have made this movie. It's not well shot, some scenes are way too dark, the editing is really choppy, and just David Gordon Green brings nothing to this movie. And we're getting 2 more of these? No thanks. And of course, like I said, it's just generic. It's nothing new. So like, there is no reason to watch this movie. None. Nada. It is such a giant piece of shit. Look, I know people hate Insidious 2, but I watched it today, and that movie I think is so good. And you watch that movie and it's goofy and it's scary and it's got a vision behind it, and it's just immensely entertaining and unique. And then you go from that to this movie, which is just a studio mandated legacy sequel where everybody is phoning it in every department. And look, I watched this movie, I finished it 2 hours ago. I forget so much already. Avoid at all costs. I'm giving The Exorcist Believer 0.5 out of 10. This isn't another Halloween Ends where it's a misunderstood movie. No, this movie's just shit. But have you seen The Exorcist Believer? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.